There is a place you visit every night, a world painted in the colors of forgotten memories, whispered secrets, and futures not yet born. When you close your eyes, you step through a hidden doorway, leaving behind the rules of gravity, time, and even identity. In this realm, you fly without wings, speak without words, and meet versions of yourself that your waking mind could never imagine. And then, as dawn breaks, you return, carrying only fragments, fleeting impressions, a lingering sense of something vast slipping through your fingers like smoke. But what if these dreams are not just random flickers of a resting brain? What if they are something far older, far wiser, and far more real than we've been taught to believe? For centuries, dreams have been dismissed as illusions, the mind's way of tidying up the clutter of the day. Science calls them neural static. Modern life treats them as curiosities, if it acknowledges them at all. Yet across time and cultures, a different truth has whispered beneath the surface. The ancient Egyptians built temples for dream incubation, believing the gods spoke through them. Indigenous shamans journeyed into dreams to heal and guide their tribes. Even our greatest inventors, like Nikola Tesla and Salvador Dali, tapped into dreams for visions that shaped reality. They knew something we've forgotten. Dreams are not escapes from reality. They are encounters with a deeper layer of it. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, moonlit lake. The world you know, the one of jobs, clocks, and tangible things, is the surface, shimmering and solid. But beneath it lies an entire universe, dark and depthless, where currents move in patterns too subtle for daylight eyes to see. This is the realm of dreams. And just as a lake's surface reflects the sky while hiding the life below, our waking world reflects only a fraction of what's truly there. Dreams are the ripples, the disturbances, the moments when the hidden depths brush against the familiar. Consider this. Every night, you slip into a state where time bends, where the dead speak, where you relive past traumas or glimpse future events with startling accuracy. These are not glitches. They are clues. A dream where you're chased by a shadowy figure might feel like nonsense, until you recognize it as a mirror of the anxiety you've been avoiding. A conversation with a departed loved one might seem like wishful thinking, until they reveal something you never knew in life, only to later confirm it in old letters or family stories. Coincidence? Or proof that in dreams, the boundaries we take for granted, between past and future, self and other, real and unreal, are far more porous than they appear. This is the mystery we're about to explore. The possibility that dreams are not just echoes of our days, but bridges to something far more profound. That they are, in fact, a forgotten language, one that speaks in symbols, emotions, and sensations because words are too small to contain what they're trying to say. A language your soul understands, even if your waking mind struggles to translate it. So tonight, when you drift into sleep, ask yourself, what if the dreams you've been ignoring are trying to wake you up? The first light of understanding begins with a simple, yet radical shift. Dreams are not merely images the mind creates, they are experiences the soul remembers. To grasp why your dreams might be more real than you think, we must explore the invisible architecture that shapes them, the hidden threads connecting them to something far greater than our individual lives. At the heart of this mystery lies the nature of consciousness itself. Modern science often treats the brain as a closed system, a biological computer that shuts off when we sleep. But what if consciousness isn't produced by the brain, but filtered through it? Think of a radio. It doesn't create the music it plays. It tunes into frequencies that already exist. In the same way, the brain might not generate consciousness, but instead receive it, translating infinite possibilities into the linear, tangible world we know. When we dream, the filters loosen. The rules of waking reality, time, space, even identity, soften, allowing us to perceive what is always there but usually hidden. This is why dreams so often defy logic. In them, you might speak fluently in a language you've never learned, or revisit a childhood home that somehow exists inside your current apartment. You might meet strangers who feel more familiar than your closest friends, or relive moments with startling vividness, only to wake and realize they never happened. At least, not in this life. These are not random misfires of neurons. They are glimpses of a vast, interconnected web of existence, one that operates beyond the limits of physical laws. Ancient traditions called this web the Akashic Records, the collective unconscious, or the astral plane. Modern physics edges toward a similar idea with theories of non-local consciousness, the notion that awareness isn't confined to the brain but is woven into the fabric of reality itself. Then there are the symbols. A snake slithering through your dream might seem like a random fear, until you learn that snakes have represented transformation in cultures from the Mayans to the Hindus. Water might appear as a calm lake or a raging flood, mirroring emotions you haven't yet acknowledged. These symbols are not personal inventions. They are part of a universal language, one that speaks through metaphor because some truths are too vast for literal words. Carl Jung called them archetypes, the recurring patterns and figures that emerge in myths, religions, and dreams across the world. They are the shared vocabulary of the human soul, and when they appear in your dreams, they are not just your mind speaking. They are something older, something collective, knocking at the door of your awareness. And what of prophetic dreams? The ones that show you an event before it happens, or deliver a message from someone who later appears in your waking life. These are not coincidences, but evidence that time, as we understand it, is an illusion. In dreams, past, present, and future blur. You might meet a version of yourself from 10 years ago, or catch a fleeting image of a place you'll visit months later. Indigenous cultures understand this intuitively. Many believe that time is circular, not linear, and that dreams are one of the ways we step outside its illusion. Modern science is catching up. Quantum physics suggests that at the deepest level, all moments exist simultaneously. Dreams might be our way of dipping into that timeless ocean, even if we only bring back droplets of understanding. But the most compelling proof of dreams' reality lies in their effects. Have you ever woken from a dream so vivid it lingered for days, altering your mood, your choices, even your beliefs? A single dream can dissolve a lifelong fear, inspire a masterpiece, or reveal the solution to a problem that seemed unsolvable. This is not the work of fantasy. It's the work of a deeper intelligence, one that knows more than your waking self, because it is connected to something far greater. When you dream, you are not just a passive observer. You are an explorer, moving through layers of existence that your daytime mind can't access. So the question isn't, are dreams real? But how many layers of reality are we missing when we dismiss them? There is an old story told among the Sufi mystics about a man who dreamed every night that he was a butterfly. In the dream, he would flutter through gardens, tasting nectar and dancing on the wind, utterly convinced of his delicate, winged existence. Then each morning he would wake, relieved yet puzzled, to find himself human again. But as the years passed, a quiet uncertainty grew in him. One evening, as he prepared for sleep, he paused and whispered to the empty room, "What if I am truly the butterfly, dreaming now that I am a man?" This ancient tale holds the first key to understanding why your dreams are more than fleeting fiction. Like the man caught between identities, we assume that waking life is the real world and dreams its faint shadow. But what if the relationship is reversed, or even circular? What if dreams are not the afterimage of reality, but one of its many faces? Across cultures, dreams have always been the realm where gods, ancestors, and the hidden self speak in a language older than words. The Aboriginal peoples of Australia call it the dream time, not a place of sleep, but a parallel world where creation still hums beneath the surface of things. In this space, a hunter might dream of a kangaroo's movements and wake to find his spear strikes truer the next day. The dream wasn't just a vision, it was a touch point with the living intelligence of the land itself. Similarly, the ancient Greeks pilgrimaged to temples of Asclepius, where priests interpreted dreams as diagnostic tools, revealing not just spiritual blockages but physical ailments before symptoms appeared. These traditions recognized that dreams don't just reflect reality, they participate in it. Consider the phenomenon of shared dreams, where two people unknowingly experience the same dreamscape. There are accounts of siblings separated by continents who dream of meeting in a childhood home, only to describe identical details upon waking. Or lovers who share dreams so vivid they leave physical traces, a scent on skin, a bruise where one was grasped in the dream. Science has no framework for this, but the mystics do. They speak of the subtle body, an energetic double that travels while the physical form sleeps. In this light, dreams might be less like private movies and more like shared territories where souls can meet beyond the body's limits. Then there are the architectural wonders of the dream world. Cities that dwarf human imagination, libraries filled with books in alien languages, landscapes that pulse like living organisms. These are not random fantasies. Tibetan dream yogas describe systematic methods to stabilize and explore these realms, treating them as training grounds for the afterlife. The shamans of the Amazon brew ayahuasca not to hallucinate, but to see, to access the true layers of reality that dreams only hint at. Even our modern fascination with lucid dreaming, where one becomes aware and in control within a dream, echoes an ancient truth, that with practice, the dream world can become as navigable as the waking one, perhaps more so. But the most profound symbolic narrative lies in death itself. In many traditions, the process of dying mirrors the act of dreaming. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes the afterlife as a series of visions, some terrifying, some sublime, that the soul must recognize as projections of its own mind. Just as in dreams, where a monster might dissolve when faced with courage, so too does the soul's journey depend on its ability to discern illusion from essence. This suggests an astonishing possibility. If we can learn to navigate our dreams with awareness, we might be preparing for realities beyond this life. The dream world, then, is not just a playground, it's a classroom. So tonight, when you close your eyes, ask yourself, what if the butterfly and the man are both real? What if the dream is not inside you, but you are inside the dream, and always have been? We have wandered through the cosmic implications of dreaming, through ancient temples and shared dreamscapes, past the gates of death and back. But now we arrive at the most pressing question. What do we do with this knowledge? If dreams are indeed a hidden layer of reality, how does that change the way we live our waking lives? The answer lies not in abandoning the physical world for the dream world, but in learning to let them illuminate each other like twin suns rising over the same horizon. Consider first the simplest practice: dream recall. Most people remember only fragments of their dreams, if anything at all. This is not because dreams are insignificant, but because we have been trained to dismiss them. Imagine if every morning you stepped out of a vast, intricate theater performance and immediately convinced yourself it had never happened. Over time, the actors would stop speaking to you. The same is true of dreams. By keeping a journal beside your bed and writing down even the faintest impressions upon waking, you send a signal to your deeper awareness. I am listening. Within weeks, you may find your recall sharpening, your dreams becoming more vivid, as if some inner guide now trusts you with its secrets. But remembering is only the first step. The next is dialogue. In indigenous traditions, dreams are not just analyzed, they are answered. A Maori elder might return to sleep with a specific question for their ancestors. A Cherokee dreamer might leave an offering of tobacco to honor the vision they received. We can adapt this wisdom. Before sleep, try whispering a question into the dark, something that weighs on your heart. Then pay attention not just to the dreams that follow, but to the synchronicities in your waking life over the next few days. You might dream of a lost watch, only to stumble upon a broken clock in an antique shop that holds the answer you needed. The dream world speaks in metaphors, but it does speak. if we learn its grammar. Then there are dreams as healing tools. Modern psychology has long used dream interpretation to uncover repressed traumas, but older traditions go further. They use dreams to alter the past. In the Amazon, shamans speak of changing the dream of an event to heal its hold on the present. You can experiment with this. If you keep reliving a painful memory in dreams, try revisiting it consciously in meditation or lucid dreaming, not to replay the pain, but to reshape it. Give your younger self the protection they lacked. Walk away from the confrontation that still haunts you. The body often cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. By rewriting the dream, you may find the emotional charge of the memory begins to dissolve in waking life too. Dreams also offer creative solutions that linear thinking cannot reach. The chemist Kekulé discovered the ring structure of benzene after dreaming of a snake biting its own tail. Paul McCartney heard the melody for "Yesterday" in a dream. These breakthroughs share a pattern. The dreamer was deeply immersed in a problem, then released it to the subconscious. You can cultivate this. When stuck on a decision, immerse yourself in the details before sleep, then let go completely. The answer may come as a dream symbol, a bridge, a key, a sudden knowing upon waking, or through real-world signs that mirror the dream's logic. The key is to trust that the dreaming mind is not just you, it's your connection to a wider intelligence. Perhaps the most transformative implication is this: if dreams are real experiences in other layers of existence, then how we dream matters. Just as we strive to act with integrity in waking life, we might begin to bring that same intention into our dreams. In Tibetan Buddhism, advanced practitioners work to maintain mindfulness even in deep sleep, understanding that the habits formed in dreams ripple into future rebirths. For most of us, the first step is simpler. Notice how you behave in dreams. Do you flee from monsters or face them? Do you hoard dream treasures or share them? These patterns mirror your subconscious beliefs about power, abundance, and connection. By becoming more aware in dreams, even occasionally lucid, you gain the power to rewrite those deep scripts. And what of shared dreaming? While rare, there are consistent accounts of people meeting in dreams, sometimes intentionally, sometimes by accident. You might experiment with a trusted partner. Before sleep, agree to meet in a specific dream location, a redwood forest, a marble temple. Upon waking, compare notes without sharing details first. Even if you don't succeed, the practice itself shifts your relationship to dreams from passive reception to active exploration. It reinforces the radical idea that consciousness is not confined to the skull, that the boundaries between your mind and mine may be more permeable than we've been taught. Ultimately, to take dreams seriously is to live a life that spans two worlds. The waking world gives us roots. The dream world gives us wings. One is not more real than the other. They are different frequencies of the same reality. When we honor both, we become like the ancient shamans who could walk between worlds, or the quantum particles that exist in multiple states until observed. We become larger. As we stand at the threshold between these two worlds, the waking and the dreaming, we come to understand that the most important question is not which one is real, but rather what do they reveal about the nature of reality itself. Your dreams are not simply random neurological fireworks or meaningless subconscious chatter. They are whispers from the depths of your being, echoes of a truth that transcends time and space, and perhaps most importantly, invitations to awaken to the vastness of who you truly are. Consider this. Every night when you close your eyes, you prove that consciousness does not depend on physical sensory input to exist. You continue to see, to feel, to experience, sometimes more vividly than in waking life. This simple fact challenges the fundamental assumption that reality is only what we can measure with our instruments and perceive with our five senses. Your dreams are living evidence that there is more to existence than the material world, that awareness itself is the fundamental fabric from which all reality is woven. The mystics and sages across time have always known this secret. They understood that the dream state is not inferior to waking consciousness, but simply different, a mode of perception that operates by its own sacred laws. In many wisdom traditions, the ability to navigate the dream world with awareness was considered just as important as navigating the physical world. Why? Because mastery in one realm leads to mastery in the other. When you begin to recognize the patterns of your dreams, how they reflect your fears, your desires, your untapped potentials, you simultaneously gain insight into the patterns of your waking life. The two mirrors face each other, creating an infinite reflection of self-discovery. This is why your dreams feel so real in the moment, and why certain dreams stay with you for years, even decades. They are not just mental images, but experiences of the soul. That recurring dream of flying, it's your spirit remembering its true nature. The dream where you're searching endlessly for something, it's your deeper self trying to show you what you've been missing. The nightmares that shake you awake, they're your psyche's way of bringing to light what needs to be healed. Every dream, no matter how strange or trivial it may seem, carries meaning because it emerges from the same infinite intelligence that orchestrates the movement of stars and the unfolding of galaxies. So what is being asked of you now? It is this: to approach your dreams with the reverence they deserve, to stop dismissing them as meaningless and start engaging with them as the sacred dialogues they are. Tonight, before you sleep, set an intention, not just to remember your dreams, but to meet them as you would meet a wise teacher. Ask for guidance. Seek understanding. Be open to receiving messages in symbols and feelings rather than words. And when you wake, take a moment before rushing into your day. Lie still. Breathe. Let the dream linger like morning mist, observing what images, emotions, or insights remain. This practice, simple as it seems, will change everything. As you begin to honor your dreams, you'll notice subtle shifts in your waking life. Synchronicities will multiply, intuition will sharpen, and you'll start to perceive the hidden threads connecting all things. You'll realize that the boundary between dreaming and waking was always an illusion, that you've been moving between worlds your whole life without fully realizing it. And most importantly, you'll awaken to the exhilarating truth that you are not just a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in its continuous creation. The call now is to live differently because of what you've discovered, to walk through your days with the quiet knowing that when you sleep tonight, you'll embark on another journey just as valid as your daytime adventures, to treat your dreams not as escapes from reality, but as returns to a deeper reality, and ultimately, to recognize that in the grand scheme of existence, we are all both the dreamer and the dreamed, infinite consciousness temporarily focused into these particular forms, these particular lives, these particular dreams within dreams. So tonight, as you prepare to cross that familiar threshold into sleep, do so with this new awareness. You are not going unconscious. You are becoming conscious in a different way. You are not leaving reality behind. You are entering its most sacred dimensions. And when you wake tomorrow, you'll carry back gifts from that journey, if only you remember to look for them. The choice is yours. Will you continue to sleepwalk through your dreams, or will you awaken to their power, their wisdom, and their truth? The door between worlds is open. All that remains is to step through.